Dear students, in the previous video lecture, I discussed the previous year GATE questions on resonance. In this video lecture, I am going to discuss the calculation of current and power in AC circuits in steady state condition. So let us see how to calculate current and power in AC circuits. If you are having an AC circuit, then we will have a voltage supply. This voltage will be somehow Vm sin omega t, and it will have some angle. Suppose this angle is phi 1. Similarly, we will have the current flowing in the circuit. The current will be Im sin omega t plus phi 2. This current will have some another phase angle. This is phi 2. Clear? So first, let us discuss the phasor. That means we have to show the voltages and currents, that means instantaneous voltage and instantaneous currents on phasor diagram. So what is phasor diagram? If you are going to draw phasor diagram, that means you must know the magnitude of the quantity as well as phase angle of the quantity. That means if you wish to write voltage, so voltage can be written as magnitude at the phase angle. Magnitude at the phase angle. So here what will be the magnitude? Here you see this is the peak value. Vm is the peak value. But here if you write in the form of magnitude, so here you will have to write RMS value. So RMS value will be how much? It is Vm by root 2 at the angle. Here the phase angle is phi 1. Similarly, if you write for Vt, if you write for It it will be Im divided by root 2 at the angle phi 2. Clear? Now we don't know about phi 1 and phi 2. But let us assume phi 1, first case is phi 1 is greater than phi 2. Let us assume phi 1 is greater than phi 2. Then we have to draw phasor diagram. So let us see. This is the horizontal axis. This is the horizontal axis. So at this axis, phi will be equal to how much? It will be 0 degree. So now we have to draw for voltage. So voltage, the magnitude is Vm by root 2, angle is phi 1. That means the voltage has some positive angle, and positive angle means in anti-clockwise direction angle is positive. So this angle is positive, and here this magnitude is Vm by root 2. So we can say this is the phasor of voltage Vt. Next, they are saying you to write the phasor for It, and here it is given phi 1 is greater than phi 2. Phi 1 is greater than phi 2, that means It will also have some phase angle. But for It, the phase angle is phi 2 and phi 1 is greater than phi 2. Phi 1 is greater than phi 2. Clear? So now if somebody is asking you to find the phase difference between voltage and current, then you will say the phase difference is equal to, between voltage and current, the phase difference will be equal to how much? Here the voltage phase angle is phi 1, voltage phi 1 and current phi 2, phi 1 minus phi 2. That means this angle is your phi 1 minus phi 2. And what do you see? You see, if you are moving in anti-clockwise direction, then you see that voltage is leading the current. Here you see voltage leads current. Clear? Voltage leads current. Second case is phi 1 is less than phi 2. If it is phi 1 less than phi 2, then draw the waveform for Vt. This is the for Vt. This angle will be phi 1. Now phi 1 is less than phi 2. That means phi 2 is greater than phi 1. So phi 2 is this angle. This will be It. This angle will be phi 2. This angle will be phi 2. So in this case, the total phase difference between Vt and It Now here you are writing the phase difference between Vt and It. So here you see phi is equal to phi2 minus phi1. But here if you see the overall condition, so here what do you see? You see It is leading Vt. Here you see It leads Vt. It leads Vt. So this is the phasor diagrams of this voltage and current in these two conditions. So why I am drawing phasor diagram? What is the reason? The reason is you will have to find the power. Maybe you will have to find active power or you will have to find reactive power, and they will be giving you the, suppose here they have given sin omega t. Sometimes they will give you sin omega t, another term will be cos omega t. Let us see. They will give you sin omega t and then they will give you another term, that is cos omega t. See, suppose Vt is given to you Vm sin omega t minus phi1. Suppose they have given like this, or suppose this is phi1, instead of phi1 write simply 30 degree, and they have given It equal to Im sin, here it is given cos omega t plus 30 degree. Clear? So now they are asking you to find the phase difference between voltage and current, which one is leading and which quantity is lagging. So how will you find? Suppose if you are going for the conversion, that means sin 90 degree minus theta equal to cos theta, so there may be some error in your calculation. So now what will you do? You will simply draw the phasor diagram. How will you draw the phasor diagram? Take voltage as the reference. Generally voltage is taken as reference. So here you see, this is horizontal axis. Now they are giving you Vm sin omega t minus 0 degree, sin omega t minus 30 degree. That means here this will be the waveform for voltage. This angle is 30 degree. Now they are giving you Im cos omega t plus 30 degree. So what is the meaning of cos? Cos function always leads sine function by 90 degree. That means if sine function has started from this horizontal axis, then cos function will lie in this vertical axis. That means the plus 90 degree lead. Now they have given cos omega t plus 30 degree. Plus 30 means this is cos omega t axis. This is the axis of cos omega t. This is the axis of sin omega t. Now plus 30 means this one. So this will be the phasor for current. This is your plus 30 degree. Now if somebody is asking you the phase difference, that means this complete angle phi. So what will you say? You will say this phi is equal to 90 plus 30 plus 30. 90 plus 30 degree plus 30 degree. So here it is coming 150 degree. So phi is coming 150 degree, and you saw here current is leading voltage. Current is leading voltage by 150 degree. Clear? Here in the same question, if somebody is asking you to find the phase difference between Vt and minus It. Now they are giving you Vt and minus It. So what is the meaning of minus It? Minus It means minus Im cos omega t plus 30 degree. So now how to find the phase difference between Vt and minus It? So for minus It, you have already drawn for plus It. You have already drawn for plus It. Now if you go to draw for minus It, minus It means it will be just reverse. Reverse means here it will be like this. this is the curve of minus it. Clear? This is the curve of minus it. This is the curve of minus it. Now you have to find this angle. You have to find this angle. So how will you find this angle? You see here, this is 30 degree. This is 30 degree. You see this line. This is vertical line. This is horizontal line. If this angle is 30 degree, apply the concept of geometry. This angle will also be 30 degree. That means this angle is your 30 degree. This angle is your 30 degree. So this total angle is 90 degree. This is 30. This is 30. So this angle will also be equal to 30 degree. So you write between Vt and minus It, phi is coming how much? Phi is coming 30 degree. And what do you see? Here you see voltage is leading minus It. Voltage is leading. Always if you have to calculate leading and lagging, so you have to always move in anti-clockwise direction. In anti-clockwise direction you have to check. So here what will you see? Vt leads minus It by 30 degree. Here what do you see? In the first case you saw It leads Vt. So in first case you will see It leads Vt by 150 degree. 150 degree. Clear? So this is all about phasor diagram. That means the voltage and currents, the expression will be given to you. You have to first draw the phasor diagram. So then only you should go for the further calculation, whether they are asking you to find current or voltage. Clear? Now, suppose Vt and It are given to you. Then what do you know? You know instantaneous power. Instantaneous power. This power will be equal to nothing but Vt into It. So this power is represented by Pt. This power is represented by Pt. This is equal to Vt into It. Suppose you are having Vt equal to Vm sin omega t and It is equal to Im sin omega t plus phi. Then if you are writing instantaneous power Pt, it will be equal to Vt into It. Vt into It. So here it will be Vm Im into sin omega t into sin omega t plus phi. Clear? So now what you have to do? To simplify the expression, you have to apply the formula of sin c into sin d, sin c into sin d. Then you have to derive the expression. So now the expression that will be derived here. So you will see that here the frequency is what? Omega. Frequency of current and voltages are omega. But here you will see the frequency of instantaneous power will be equal to instantaneous power will be equal to 2 omega. Frequency of instantaneous power will be equal to 2 omega. What does it mean? It means if your supply frequency is 50 Hz, if f is equal to 50 Hz and the equipments which are connected to the supply, so there the frequency of instantaneous power is equal to f instantaneous power. This will be equal to 100 Hz. This will be equal to 100 Hz. the frequency of instantaneous power is doubled, and the single phase power, that means instantaneous power, is not constant. Instantaneous power is not constant. Clear? So next let us see what is average power. Let us see what is average power. Average power, or this is also called active power, or this is also called real power. This is also called real power. And in network theory, you will see many questions in GATE examination. They are asking you to find average power or real power or active power. So don't confuse with the names. All these three names are same. Clear? So what is average power? So average power, I am directly writing the formula without going for the definition of these powers, because I think you already have studied these definitions in basic electrical engineering as well as in your semesters. So I am writing P average. So P average is equal to VI cos phi. VI cos phi. What is V? V is RMS voltage. V is RMS voltage. I is your RMS current, and phi is your phase angle between current and voltage, I and V. Phi is phase angle between I and B. That means if any waveform is given to you, suppose any expression for voltage and current is given to you, then you can find the average power by writing V into I into cos phi. Next, there is another formula for calculating average power. Suppose a circuit is given to you. This is the combination of resistor and inductor. Suppose this is 100 volt 50 hertz supply is given to you. 100 volt means they are giving you RMS value. Here it is 3 ohm, here it is J4 ohm. This is current IT, this is current IT. They are asking you to find the real power. They are asking you to find the real power delivered by the source or real power consumed by this resistor. So both will be same. So if you write P real or P average, so here what will be the value of P average? You can directly write, because real power will always be consumed across resistor. It will not be consumed across inductor or capacitor. So resistor value is 3 ohm, and current, if you can find the RMS current, so you can write I square into R. So I square into R means you have to write the magnitude of current I. So magnitude of current I will be equal to how much? 100 divided by 3 plus J4. Magnitude I am writing simply the magnitude. So magnitude means what? 3 plus J4. 3 square plus 4 square under root. 3 square plus 4 square under root. From here I will be equal to how much? 100 divided by 5. It will be equal to 20 ampere. I am not writing the angle because angle is not needed here. I square into R, that means 20 square into 3. That means 1200 watt. So this will be the answer of real power of this circuit. If you go by this method, VI cos phi. So what will you have to do? Here you have calculated current. The value of current is how much? It is 20 at the angle. 20 at the angle. Here it will be 3 plus. Here it is 3 plus J4. So now what will you have to write? You will have to find the angle of this one. And since here the angle is in denominator, so when you write in numerators, it will become minus. So minus 10 inverse 4 by 3, or it is minus tan inverse, it is coming minus tan inverse 4 by 3 or minus 53.13 degree. So from here now we'll have to find V into I into cos phi, then you can find the answer. Clear? So you can also write the real power equal to I square into R. So depending upon the condition of circuit, you have to check which formula you have to apply to find average power or real power. Clear? Now there is another term, that is reactive power. Reactive power. So what is the formula for reactive power? It is represented by Q and it is equal to VI sin phi. VI sin phi. So when you write apparent power S, so S you write P plus JQ. You write apparent power S, it is equal to P plus JQ. Apparent power S is always written as P plus JQ. Clear? That means reactive power is being represented on imaginary axis and real power or average power is represented on real axis. Clear? So let us see one more formula of power. You will see that apparent power S will be written as VI star. VI star. So what is the meaning of VI star? Star means conjugate. Star means conjugate of the complex quantity. What is the meaning of this? It means that suppose somebody have given you V equal to 20 at the angle 30 degree and I equal to 40 at the angle 60 degree, then I star will be equal to how much? I star will be equal to 40 at the angle, its angle will be reverse, magnitude will be same. Its angle will be reverse, magnitude will be same. Now your question is, why it is written VI star? Why it is taken conjugate of current? Why not simply V into I? So see the reason. You know S is equal to how much? P plus JQ, and P is equal to what? P equal to VI cos phi and Q equal to VI sin phi. Now I am telling you the reason. This is very, very important for the purpose of interview also. Clear? So you see, if V is equal to suppose V at the angle phi 1 and I equal to suppose I at the angle phi 2. Clear? Phi 2. So now what happens? You see on phasor, suppose this is V at the angle phi 1 and suppose this is current I. This is voltage V, this is current I. Suppose this was the reference. You can take reference anywhere. Suppose this was the reference, it was 0 degree, it is phi 1, it is phi 2, it is phi 2. Clear? So now if you write active power, so active power will be how much? VI cos phase difference between these two quantity. So phase difference between these two quantity will be how much? Phi 2 minus phi 1. So here it will be phi 2 minus phi 1. Clear? If you write Q, it will be equal to VI sin phi 2 minus phi 1. Clear? So this should be the answer of P plus Q. Now if you are finding from simply if you are writing S equal to VI, so what will happen? V at the angle phi 1 into I at the angle phi 2. So what will you write? VI at the angle phi 1 plus phi 2. If you simplify this one, what will you write? VI cos phi 1 plus phi 2 plus JVI sin phi 1 plus phi 2. So now you can see the difference. What should be the expression of real power? It should be phi 2 minus phi 1. here what is coming? Phi 2 plus phi 1. It should also be phi 2 minus phi 1. It is coming phi 1 plus phi 2. That means this formula is completely incorrect. This formula is completely incorrect. Now how can you correct this one? How can you correct this one? That's why if you take conjugate of either voltage or current, then you will easily get apparent power. Because if you are taking conjugate, suppose you are taking the conjugate of current. So what is the meaning of taking conjugate of current? Taking the conjugate means, suppose this is V, this is your I. So taking the conjugate means what? Here I will be reverse like this one. I will be reverse like this one. So now when you add the phase angles of voltage and current, so it is going to be automatically subtracted, and here also subtraction is needed because phase difference is needed. That means you are going to make conjugate of current I. So next your question will be, why the conjugate of current only? Why not of voltage? Because generally voltage is taken as reference. So you have to take the conjugate of current. So I think it is now clear. That means the concept of power is now clear to you. Next, let us solve some previous year GATE questions on this topic. Given that first question asked in GATE 2011 electrical engineering, voltage applied to circuit is, given that voltage applied to the circuit is 100 root 2 cos 100 pi t. Clear? And current drawn in the circuit through this source is 10 root 2 sin 100 pi t plus pi by 4 ampere. Taking voltage as the reference phasor, the phasor representation of current in ampere is, they are saying you take voltage as reference phasor. Take voltage as reference phasor. Now you have to represent the value current IT in terms of magnitude at the angle phase. You have to take voltage as reference. So take voltage as reference. You have to write current in terms of magnitude at phi. So see here, it is given Vt equal to 100 root 2 cos 100 pi t. So take voltage as the reference. So this is your voltage axis. It is 100 root 2 cos 100 pi t. Now if you draw the current is equal to how much? 100 pi t plus pi by 4. See, 100 sin pi by t. Here it was cos 100 pi t. Here sin 100 pi t. It means this current is lagging the voltage by 90 degree. Voltage is cosine function and second was current is sine function. That means it is lagging the voltage by 90 degree. So here the current will be at this position. But it is given this plus pi by 4. Plus pi by 4 means you will have to move anti-clockwise. So somewhere here you will get plus pi by 4. So this will be your current IT. This angle is pi by 4, that means 45 degree. So the difference of Vt and IT will be how much? It will also be pi by 4. But pi by 4 what? Current is lagging the voltage. That means if you write magnitude at the angle phi, so what will be the value of magnitude? Magnitude will be independent of the magnitude of voltage. Here you see 10 root 2. That means magnitude will be Im divided by root 2. That means 10. So here it will be 10 at the angle. Here what will be the value of phase angle? here you will have to assume that 0, that means reference. So here it is lagging by pi by 4. So here it will be minus pi by 4. This will be the answer of first question. Clear? So let us write second question. Second question asked in GATE 2012. GATE 2012. They are saying the average power delivered to an impedance. The average power delivered to Z equal to 4 minus J3 ohm by a current 5 cos 100 pi t plus 100 ampere each. A impedance is given to you. This is impedance Z. Now what is happening? There is a current source. This current source is delivering this amount of current. Now they are asking you to find average power delivered to this load. Average power means the power dissipated across the resistor. So resistor is how much? Forget about inductor. Resistor is how much? It is 4 ohm. So you will have to write the average power. If you write average power, so P average will be equal to how much? I square into R. Remember one thing, anywhere if capital I is written, it means RMS. It means RMS value. If it is a small I is written, a small it, it is instantaneous value. Instantaneous value. And if Im is written, then it is peak value. Im is written, then it is peak value. So I square into R, that means this is the peak value. So RMS will be 5 by root 2 whole square into 4. So from here the answer will be 50 watt. So 50 watt will be the answer of this question. Clear? You can see how simple this question was. Third question. Come to third question. This question is very important. It is given a two-phase load draws the following current. Given a two-phase load draws the following current. Current is given I1t equal to Im sin omega t minus phi 1 and I2t will be equal to Im cos omega t minus phi 2. Clear? These are the currents I1t and I2t. Then they are saying that these currents are balanced if phi 1 is equal to. They are saying that these currents are balanced if phi 1 equal to. That means they are asking you the relation between phi 1 and phi 2. Come to solution. It is given two-phase load. So what is the meaning of two-phase load? Very important point. Two-phase load. Two-phase load means the phase angle should be 90 degree. That means two-phase load means there are two windings and these two windings are 90 degree apart. That means if you are having the induction motor load, so what do you see? You are getting one phase single phase supply, and here you see that in the single phase supply rotating field cannot be produced. So to produce rotating field, what you are doing? You are using a capacitor. That means you are anyhow you are trying to make the phase difference of 90 degree so that rotating magnetic field can be produced. So when the two phase system is there, two phase loads are there, so phase difference will be 90 degree, not 180 degree. For two phase load, both the currents will be at 90 degree apart. So that means I1 and I2 should be the angle of between I1 and I2 should be 90 degree. Clear? So now we have to write the relation between phi1 and phi2. So come to the solution, draw the phasor diagram. So let's I1t, suppose this is your horizontal axis, 0 degree angle. Now I1 is Im sin omega t minus phi1. So here it is I1, it is at the angle of minus phi1, that means below 0 degree. I2t is Im cos omega t minus phi2. Im cos omega t minus phi2. Cos means what? Cos means you will have to go in the vertical axis. This is the axis of sin t. This is the axis of cos t. So cos omega t minus phi2. Again minus means what? Clockwise direction. So here it will be minus phi2. Here it is I2t. Here it is I2t. Clear? So now what is the angle between I1 and I2 here? You see the angle between I1 and I2. I1 and I2, if you write the angle, this angle is phi. So phi will be equal to how much? Phi will be equal to how much? You see this angle phi is equal to, this total angle is 90 degree. This angle is phi2. So phi, if you write phi, so phi is the angle between these two currents. Phi is the angle between these two currents. So here this angle is 90 minus phi2. So phi is 90 degree minus phi2 plus this angle, that means phi1. So this is phi. Now what should be the value of phi? So phi should be equal to, this is I1, this is I2. For balanced system, phi should be equal to 90 degree. That means 90 minus phi2 plus phi1 equal to 90 degree. This implies phi1 should be equal to phi2. Phi1 should be equal to phi2. So this is the answer of third question that was asked in GATE 2012. So if you are having two-phase load, so two-phase load means both the currents will be 90 degree apart. In some books you will see the solution is given as they have taken the two angles as minus 180 degree. That solution is completely wrong. Question 4, GATE 2016. This question was asked in GATE 2016. You see the question. This question, here transformer is given. Remember, this part is important for electronics and instrumentation engineering students also, because you can also have some this type of questions in GATE examination. X equal to 40 kilo ohm. Here it is R equal to 80 kilo ohm. Here it is 1:100. Here it is XL equal to 10 ohm. XL equal to 10 ohm, 100 volt. Here it is current I. They are asking you RMS value of current I. They are asking you RMS value of current I is what? Come to the solution. This is the transformer. Turns ratio is given 1:100. How to find this current I? This is supplied. Here RMS voltage is 100 volt. Here it is XL equal to 10 ohm. So what you will have to do? See, this is the secondary circuit. This is the secondary circuit. So we can refer the secondary into primary, because you have to find the primary current. So we will refer the secondary impedance to primary impedance. So secondary impedance is how much? Here, see here it is X equal to J40 kilo ohm. It means what? It is nothing but minus J40 kilo ohm. Here it is XL equal to 10 ohm. That means what? It is J omega L. That means J10 ohm. So if you refer to primary and draw the circuit again, so your circuit will be, this resistance will be referred to primary, this capacitance will also be referred to primary. It is 100 volt. Here it will be current I. Here it is J10. Now what about the resistance and reactance value here? If it is being referred to primary, so remember only one thing, that means if the number of turns is more, then resistance and reactance will be more. So here if number of turns is less, here turns ratio is, here it is, if it is 100 turn, then it is only 1 turn. That means if you are referring to this side, then this resistance and reactance will be decreased by how much? So it will be divided by a square of the number of turns. So a square of the number of turns means 100 square. So it will be divided by 40k minus J40 divided by 100 square. That means 10 to the power 4. That means 4 minus J4. So here it will be 4 ohm. Here it will be minus J4 ohm. So from here if you calculate I in vector form, it will be 100 divided by the total impedance 4 plus J6. So if you find RMS value, it will be how much? 100 divided by, it is 10. That means 10 ampere. That means 10 ampere is the answer. 10 ampere is the answer of this question. Clear? See, this question was asked in GATE 2019. It is given that Vt equal to minus 170 sine 377t minus pi by 6, and Ik is equal to 8 cos 377t plus pi by 6. Clear? This is voltage and this is current. It is given, you have to find average power consumed by the load age. So how to find average power consumed by the load age? So what will be the value of average power? Come to the solution. Average power will be Vi cos phi. Vi cos phi. If you write V that means RMS value, it will be nothing but 170 divided by root 2. Similarly, I will be equal to 8 divided by root 2. Now you have to find the phase difference. So let us see how to find phase difference. Here it is minus, remember one more thing, here it is minus 170 and here it is 8 cos 370, here it is sine. So let's start with voltage. So first let us draw the waveform for, let us write, this is the 0, that means this is the 0, that means horizontal axis at reference. So here first forget about minus sign, it is sine 377t minus pi by 6. So minus pi by 6 means what? The angle will be here. Here this angle will be minus pi by 6. So now if you are taking minus of this, that means your current phasor, voltage phasor will lie somehow here. This is the minus part. Clear? This is the minus part. So this phasor will lie here. So this angle is pi by 6, then this angle will also be pi by 6. So this angle will be how much? This angle will be pi by 3. So this is your voltage Vt. Now draw current is 8 cos 377 t plus pi by 6. It is cos. So if this is sine axis, then this is your cos axis. Now this cos axis plus pi by 6. Plus pi by 6 means in this direction anti-clockwise. So this angle is your pi by 6. So here it is current IT. So if this is current IT, this is voltage VT, then the difference between these two, this is 30 degree, this is 30, total is 90. That means this angle will be 30 degree. If this angle is 30 degree, if this angle is 30 degree, that means you got phi is equal to 30 degree. Phi is equal to 30 degree. Now somebody will ask you simply whether it is lead or lag. So lead and lag is always taken in terms of current. That means whether current is leading or lagging. So here what do you see? You see voltage phasor is ahead of current phasor. If you are coming in anti-clockwise direction, so current phasor is coming first and voltage phasor is coming later. So here what do you see? Voltage phasor is ahead of current phasor. So here current is lagging the voltage by 30 degrees. So you can say 30 degree lag. So now if you write the average power, so it will be VI cos phi. So VI, that means 170 into 8 divided by root 2 into root 2. 2 into cos 30 degree. So from here it is coming 588 watt. From here it is coming 588 watt is the answer. 588 watt is the answer. Let us solve one more problem. Given that V1t equal to 100 cos omega t, V2t is equal to 100 cos omega t plus pi by 18 and V3t is equal to 100 cos omega t plus pi by 36. They are giving R is far much less than omega into L and P1, P2 and P3 are average output powers and they are giving you one circuit. They are giving you one circuit. The circuit is like this one, plus minus V1t, plus minus V2t, this is plus minus V3t, this is RL. Clear? Now they are giving you four options. First option is P1 equal to, P2 equal to, P3 equal to 0. Second option is P1 is less than 0, P2 is greater than 0, P3 is greater than 0. Third option is P1 is less than 0, P2 is greater than 0, P3 is less than 0, and fourth option is P1 greater than 0, P2 less than 0, P3 greater than 0. So they are asking you out of this which option is correct. Out of the following, which option is correct? So let us see how to think about this question, how to solve this question. Three voltages are given, all are having different phase angles. Here the phase angle is 0 degree. Clear? Here the phase angle is pi by 18. Here the phase angle is pi by 36. That means out of these three voltages, this voltage is at leading position. V2, then V3, then V1. V2 greater than V3, then V1 in terms of phase angle. So what about V2? Here V2 the voltage will be at the terminal voltage. Here suppose this is point A. So V2 is at highest angle, it is pi by 18 degree. Then V1 the angle is, here the angle is 0 degree, here the angle is pi by 36 degree, and the magnitudes of the voltages are equal. So now what will about the power flow, that means the active power flow. So active power, see, if the level of voltages are equal, then still active power will flow, but there should be the difference, there should be the difference in the angles of voltage of the points, that means node voltages. Suppose this is node A, this is node B, this is node C. So node A the angle is pi by 18 degree, node B angle is 0 degree. That means here the active power will flow, and the direction of power will be from higher phase angle to lower phase angle. Similarly here, that means here it is power is P1, here power is P1. Next come to this part, here phase angle is pi by 18, pi by 36. So here also power will flow from higher phase angle to lower phase angle. So this will be the direction of power P3. This will be the direction of power P3. Clear? And what about P2? If these two are coming like this, then this source is delivering the power. So this is P1. So what? This is P2. This is P2. So what do you see? P1, this source is taking the power. This source is also taking the power, but this source is your delivering the power. That means third option is correct. Remember only one thing: active power flows from higher, or I am writing leading voltage node to lagging voltage node. And if they are asking you about the flow of reactive power, so note one more important point, that reactive power flows from higher potential to lower potential. That means if active power is, they are asking about active power, then you have to compare the angles of the node, and if they are asking you reactive power, then you have to compare the magnitudes of the voltages of the nodes. Clear? So this is all about the AC circuits. Now one more topic is left, that is magnetic coupling in AC circuit. So in the next video lecture, I will discuss about magnetic coupling, and then we'll discuss about three-phase AC circuits or three-phase powers. So you have to practice the problems like this, and always you should prefer to draw phasor diagram of currents and voltage. You don't apply the formulas like sine 90 degree minus theta equal to cos theta, because if you are applying these formulas, there is very high chance that you will get incorrect answer. So you should always draw the phasor diagram, and you have to always take care of minus and plus sign, because in some currents it will be written minus 50 sine 100t plus 30 degree. Somewhere it will be written minus 10 cos 50t plus 200 degree. So you have to take care of this sign, that negative sign. Clear?